Today we've got more propaganda for children. Now, I've mentioned this before, but this isn't standard Christian propaganda. This specific lesson we'll be addressing today is going to address things from a Christian perspective, but it's really designed to pull people into Jehovah's Witnesses, very specifically. I've had lots of requests for things like Veggie Tales, and I might just get to that sometime soon. But for now, let's see what Jehovah's Witnesses have to teach kids with lesson number 26, the ransom. Let's get into it.
Thank you so much for your visit.
See you later, Sister Elsa. Mom, is Elsa gonna die?
Oh, we don't know yet.
Can't Jehovah just fix her?
Oh, honey. Oh. He's already done something to help her. Do you remember who he sent?
Jesus? But how does that help her now?
Do you remember how long Adam was supposed to live?
What is that accent? Damn it! Nobody can put their finger on that accent. I get all kinds of different opinions. Brazilian, German, Spanish, but nobody can tell. It's bizarre. Anyways, those with a keen eye will notice that this person that Sophia befriended in the last episode of the show is now on her deathbed. They're killing off a character to make a point about death. Then you hear Sophia ask, "Mom, is Elsa going to die?" So this episode is going to be all about how Jehovah's Witnesses deal with death. Interestingly enough, though, you'll notice that Sophia asks a really important question. One question that's acted as a catalyst for people to leave religion in droves. Why isn't God doing anything? Can't he help her? Let me lay some statistics down for you. This is reported from UNICEF. About 29,000 children under the age of 5 die every single day. That's 21 children per minute. Every minute of every day of every week of every month of every year. Mostly from preventable problems. Malaria, pneumonia, that kind of thing. Why doesn't God do something about it? Now, I'm just trying to describe the argument here. You might have your own answers for why he isn't acting to save people's lives. Like, maybe you think he just created everything and then walked away. Doesn't have an active role in the world. Or maybe you have some outrageous claim about free will. But here's the bottom line. God could fix it if he wanted to. At least the God that Christians commonly describe. He's all-powerful, isn't he? So why isn't he fixing it? This is called the problem of impotence versus evil. I think Sam Harris pioneered this argument. No all-good and all-powerful God would ever allow 21 children to die per minute from preventable diseases. That's the bottom line. That's the argument that Jehovah's Witnesses are going to try to address here. Now, the dad is about to give us a story. Let's see what he has to say.
But how does that help her now?
Do you remember how long Adam was supposed to live?
Forever. But then he didn't listen to Jehovah and ruined everything.
Since we are all Adam's children, that means we also get sick, old, and eventually die. But what hope did Jehovah give us?
He sent Jesus to give his life in place of the one that Adam lost.
How could he do that?
Because he was perfect like Adam, but he obeyed Jehovah.
Yes. Thanks to Jehovah for giving us Jesus as the ransom.
Okay, we need to break this down in fine detail. Sorry to my Christian subscribers, I'm gonna have to come at this from an atheist perspective. First, I want to say, I thought this was a sick burn.
Then he didn't listen to Jehovah and ruined everything.
Wow, he didn't listen to Jehovah and he ruined everything. What was it that Adam did again? I just want to put this into context here. So, God created two people, and he created some animals and stuff, right? Then he created some poison and put it right in the middle of this area, within reach of what amounts to be two children, completely inexperienced in the world. And the dude put poison down there where he could reach it, then said, "Don't touch." I don't know what made him think that this was gonna work. When you think about it, it's kind of his fault. In fact, it's completely his fault. Why did he need these trees to exist in the first place? Get rid of them! Isn't he all-powerful? So after God puts the poison down within reach of these brand new humans and says, "Don't touch," apparently a snake, yes, I said a snake, not Satan, starts talking. Seriously, the Bible doesn't say anything about the snake being Satan. That's just the way Christians interpret it. It just says snake. This is in Genesis chapter 3. Let me give these verses a quick read. It says, "Now the serpent was more crafty than any of the wild animals the Lord God had made." See, it's specifically talking about a serpent, not Satan. The idea of Satan didn't even exist at the time. It was thought up way later. Okay, let's continue reading. It says, "He said to the woman, 'Did God really say, you must not eat from any tree in the garden?' The woman said to the serpent, 'We may eat fruit from the trees in the garden, but God did say, you must not eat from the tree that is in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it, or you will surely die.' 'You will not certainly die,' the serpent said to the woman. 'For God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil.'" I just want to make note that this is the kind of writing I don't come across every day. There were quotes within quotes within quotes. When I was scripting this, I had quotes around the verses, and the snake started talking, and then the snake quoted God. It was multiple levels of quotes. I don't know. I do a lot of writing, so it was something I could appreciate. Anyways, the point here is that there's no Satan in those verses. Dude didn't even exist until way later in Jewish history. Wasn't even clearly formed out until Christianity took hold of the idea. So the Bible isn't saying that Satan tempted Eve away. It's saying that a snake talked to her and tempted her away. I feel like that's an important distinction to make, for the sake of accuracy and for the sake of ridiculousness. Also, I'm still stuck on this whole God put poison within reach of these brand new humans and then blamed them for eating it thing. That's straight up negligence. God would be put in prison until the end of time if he was on trial today. He f***ed up. He put poison in the middle of where his children were eating, and as a result, they died, and so did billions of others. But there's a classic move you find from people who want to control others. Blame the victim. I really don't see how people can possibly be okay with this story. It's horrific and disgusting. But somehow Jehovah's Witnesses are managing to prop God up as this amazing dude who did so much for everybody. Except for one major problem. This right here.
Thanks to Jehovah for giving us Jesus as the ransom.
Okay, let's dissect this part of the story now. From Jehovah's Witnesses' perspective, they don't believe in the Trinity. So according to them, God created Jesus before any other angels. He called him Michael the Archangel. Of course, in reality, the Bible does talk about Michael the Archangel, and it makes some clear distinctions. In the Bible, Michael and Jesus weren't the same being, but we'll cover that another time. Back to what I was saying. According to this story that Jehovah's Witnesses are actually teaching kids this fact, God took Michael the Archangel and impregnated this chick with him. Then he was born, grew up completely 100% perfect and sin-free, and then got baptized at whatever age. Was it like 31 or something? So God sent his perfect son down in human form to die for humans, to reverse everything. But according to Jehovah's Witnesses, there are some people who won't make it through Armageddon. Wait, didn't Jesus die for them too? Why isn't God reversing everything? Wouldn't those people have survived if Adam and Eve hadn't screwed the pooch? Why is he killing them now, even though they would have survived anyways? Did Jesus die for them or not? And this whole free will bit is a little questionable at best. Did Adam and Eve have free will before they ate the fruit? Apparently they did. They just didn't want to sin because they were perfect. So why can't God just snap his fingers and reverse the part of us that wants to sin? Why can't he just make us perfect again? Why go through all this mess where he goes through like 4,000 years of killing everybody except this really tiny group of people, then impregnates one of them with his son, then has his son killed? Why? Just snap your fingers and be done with it. Or alternatively, snap your fingers and sterilize everybody. Now nobody can have kids. In fact, why didn't he just do that from the start? The moment Adam and Eve were deceived by the snake, just take Adam's nuts, quarantine the people and snakes, and wait for them to die. Create a new breeding pair. Save billions of lives. It's actually immoral not to do it that way. I thought God was a forward thinker. Now let's take a look at the end of this video, the best part.
Now we all have the hope of living forever in paradise. And when we are going through tough times, like right now, that hope can get us through.
Elsa? Sister Elsa!
And there's the emotional blackmail. That's what this whole thing really comes down to, isn't it? When people are dealing with the stages of grief, which are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance, a lot of the time they'll start to question whether or not God is real. They'll question everything around them. The tactic that Jehovah's Witnesses are using here is trying to get people to turn to God anytime there's a death or a tragedy of any kind. This isn't just in kids' cartoons. This is a common theme through everything they say and do. It's part of their culture. They want people to turn to Jehovah's Witnesses when something happens. It's part of that collar they put around people's necks, that mask they give people to wear. It's part of that system of rewards and punishments that they use to shape people's identities into what they want them to be. That's really what makes a group a cult. Anyways, that's all I've got for you guys. Don't forget to check out my Patreon if you like what I do and you want to see me keep doing it. Patreon gives me stability that I just can't get from YouTube. Some months are good, some months are bad, but Patreon is a lot more reliable. It is the reason why I can continue to do this work. Also, check out my podcast. I talk about extremist literature on there. Right now I'm reading through a Jehovah's Witness book. All links are in the description as always. Okay, thanks for watching, guys.